You want to make an unturned server, do you? This is like the 15th time I've tried to make this goddamn video. Alright. First you want to install USO, and you want to install Notepad++. They're in the description. Download them, install them, blah, 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 blah. Fucking put them on the same drive. Put USO's 2 halves of its installation on the same drive so it doesn't fucking... so it actually works, you know. Alright, and then you want to fucking open up Unturned Server Organizer. Woo, let's fucking do it, boys. And then we open up Change Settings. This is the first thing you want to do when you start up your server, or when you start editing your server. So you have your you have an instance name. This doesn't actually matter. You can change this to anything you want. It doesn't fucking matter. This is the only thing that matters right here. Make sure it's a good description of what your server's about and what it does, and you know, make sure people actually want to join it. Choose a map. Just choose one. It's not really that hard. Difficulty, choose one. It's not that hard. Welcome message, you can say hello, you fucking faggots. You know, you can say that if you want to, but I wouldn't recommend it. And then you can give your server port 27,000. Oh, yeah, it's boys. Don't actually mess with this. This is very important. Do not mess with it. Bind, don't fuck with that either. Owner, doesn't fucking matter. If you want a password, put your fucking password in there. Perspective, both. If you can't tell, I'm really pissed because this is like the 15th time I've tried to record this. This is fucking pissing me off, but we got to get through it. 43,200. This is the server day and night cycle in seconds. So if you want to make the day and night cycle longer, you would increase this number. If you want to make it shorter, you would decrease it. I'm assuming you're not 4 years old. I'm assuming that you would already know how to do that. Maximum players, you can choose all the way up to 48. I wouldn't recommend 48. It's going to put a lot of load on the server if you have 48 motherfuckers running around. Gold users, you can turn it off and on. I wouldn't recommend having it on because most players aren't gold members, even though I am. But alright, I have cheats on all the time. You always want to have cheats on. If you want them on, I mean, you don't have to have them on, but I think you should have them on if you're going to be a server owner, server admin. You want to be able to spawn items in for yourself and what have you. PvP, if you want PvP, you turn it on. If you want PvE, you turn that on. Vote kick, I wouldn't recommend having that on. Only server admins and shit should be able to kick people. And then we want to go to open up our server folder. Boom. We're just going to pop that open. Woo. We're going to pop that open. We're going to want to... Oh my gosh. I'm having a burp or something. Something's coming. Alright, you want to go to your config.json. As soon as you click this, it should just pop this open. You know, it's not that hard. Right click on this. You want to go to edit with Notepad++. If you want to really push it and you want to really use Notepad, you can. But once again, I wouldn't recommend it. We're going to open it with Notepad++. Boom. Because Notepad++ has all like it has the nice coloring and it separates it nicely. It's really good. Notepad++ is what you should be using, but I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. Now, when you chose your difficulty earlier, so my difficulty's right here. It's easy. So I chose the difficulty easy. So when you go in here, this is the difficulty easy. So if you chose easy, you want to change all of these settings. But if you chose, let's go down to, if you chose normal, you want to change all these settings. They're all the same. It doesn't matter what difficulty you choose. All the settings are going to be exactly the same. It's just, it's dependent on what difficulty you chose at the beginning. So you have to choose the right one, or else you're not, or none of the stuff that you're changing is actually going to happen in game because you chose the wrong difficulty in the config. So if you chose easy, you're going to modify these, but I'm just going to use easy because it's at the top. It's easier for me to explain it that way. This is so under items, you have a spawn chance. So this is your spawn chance for all the items in the game. You know, loot that spawns on the ground. You know, it's pretty simple. This is as high as it goes. It doesn't go any higher than 1. This is If you put it at 5, it'll bug out and it won't spawn anything. It'll just spawn nothing. So you want to make sure it's at 1. It has to be anywhere from 0 to 1, so it can be 0.0001, but that's stupid, so don't do that. But it can be anywhere from 0 to 1. This is your despawn drop time, so if you drop an item on the ground, it'll despawn in 600 seconds. This is all in seconds. These are, that's how this is set up. So if you drop something on the ground, it'll despawn in 600 seconds. If something spawns in like a building or something, it'll despawn in 7,200 seconds. Now I know these are not the settings that you are going to have, but you can change them to whatever you want. I'm just reading off what I have because that's what I'm visually seeing right now. But this is all in seconds, so you can change this to whatever the hell you want. So if you want your, you can cut this in half. You can make it 300, 200, 1. I don't know why you'd have it at 1. Please don't do that. Please do not make it 1. You can have your respawn time. I would recommend having this at 1. You can have it at any number you want, but 1's probably the best. Quality full chance, so the chance of it being at full quality, I would just say this is 1. I think this might actually max out at 1. I really don't remember. I think this might max out at 1. I think 1 is the max, the highest number you can have for that. And then you want to have your quality multiplier, so you can make the quality of the item higher, lower. This doesn't max out at anything. You can make this as high as you want. Gun bullets full chance. Oh yes. So if a gun spawns, whether or not the mag inside the gun will be full or not, depends on this number here. And this goes from 0 to 1 as well. And then you have the gun bullets multiplier. You can change this to whatever. I think anything above 1 is just going to default to 1, so I don't think this actually matters. Magazine bullets full chance. So if a magazine spawns on the ground, it'll be full. It's 0 to 1 again. Multiplier, this doesn't really matter, but I have it at 5 for whatever reason. So if a crate spawns on the ground, like a crate of bullets, so like a common ammunition crate, it'll spawn. It's from a 0 to 1 again. So if you want to change this anywhere from 0 to 1, it'll spawn at full, and then multiplier 5. It's basically the same thing as all these. I mean, I would recommend just changing all of these settings here to the same thing, just 1 and 5, but you can do whatever you want. This is whether or not your items will actually have durability. So if you're using a melee weapon and you're hitting a zombie over the head with it, it's whether or not that melee weapon will deteriorate. So it'll go from 100% to 50% or whatever. I always have it off because it's fucking retarded. I don't like durability. If I wanted durability, I'd play Fallout New Vegas. Vehicles, respawn time. This is in seconds again. Everything's in seconds as far as respawn time and whatever. Armor multiplier. So if you want your vehicles to be a little stronger, you want them not to blow up as quickly, you can change this number to pretty much whatever you want. This one's not capped at anything. Now we're going to go on to zombies. This is a big one here, so you want to pay attention, boys and girls. This is a big one. This will change the dynamic of your server pretty immensely. So the spawn chance for a zombie, this doesn't actually cap out at anything. I'm not aware of a cap for this. It goes from anywhere to 0 to infinity, I guess, but I always have mine at 1.5. I had it at 2 for a while, and that was just kind of like way too much. The loot chance, so the chance that a zombie will drop loot can be any number. It doesn't actually max out at anything. So I have mine at 15. So you can change these to whatever you want. Once again, you don't have to copy what I'm doing. You can just make it whatever you want, but I'm just showing you what I have if you're interested. Crawler chance. So I think crawlers are the ones that, like, they just crawl with their arms, basically. They just use their arms to move. You have the chance for them to spawn. If you want all your zombies to be crawlers, you would just make all these numbers 0, and you would make this one 1. It's, pretty simple. And then you have sprinter chance. These are the ones that are on all fours and they run really fast. So you have a chance of those spawning. And then you have flankers. These are the ones that turn invisible. They turn like a purple transparent color, and then they try to get behind you, or try to basically flank you, as it says here. That's the chance for those to spawn. You can modify these to whatever you want. You can make them super rare. You can make them really common. And burner zombies, the ones that try to explode or light you on fire. There you go. Acid. Tries to spit acid on you. It's pretty simple. Respawn time. This is the respawn time in seconds during the day. So you can change this to whatever you want again. I'm just going to keep emphasizing you can change these to whatever you want. You don't need to copy what I'm doing. It's your own server. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. But if you like my settings, I appreciate that. You're complimenting my choices, but you don't have to do that. This is in seconds, so zombies will respawn every 500 seconds. That's how that would work. So at night, you have a different setting. So at night, they'll respawn a little bit faster. I mean, if you don't want that, you don't have to do that, but I kind of like them to respawn faster at night. And you have damage multiplier. You can also do respawn beacon time. Which I actually don't know why I have that set to 0. Huh. Let's see. I'm actually going to change it right now because I don't know why that's like that. Let's put that at Jeez, I don't know why that's like that. All right. I'll fix that really quick. Damage multiplier. This is their damage multiplier. So if you want your zombies to be really overpowered, like if they'll one-shot somebody, you can make them really strong. Or you can make them super, super, super weak, and they really can't hurt you. They can only do like 1 HP of damage. I always have mine at half damage because I think by default it's like 0.25, but I'm not too sure. Armor multiplier. So this will make the zombies tougher to kill. So if you want the multiplier to be 10, they'll be really hard to kill, and I don't know why you would do that, but if you want to do that, if you want to make it like really tough on yourself, you could do that. But I always keep it around 1. It's 1, I think, is default, so I wouldn't recommend changing that if you want your server to be, have normal zombies in them. Beacon experience. So whenever you kill a zombie that's spawned from a beacon, you get a experience multiplier. I have it at 10 because beacons are really rare, so I think you should get a lot of XP for that. Full moon experience. So whenever there's a night with a full moon, I'm assuming you already know how to play the game, blah, blah. You get 2 times XP. But you can change that to whatever you want. You don't have to do that. You don't have to copy my stuff. Slow movement. This is for the zombies. So if you want them to move normally and you want them to move as slow as they normally do in single player or whatever, you'd put this as true. But if you want them to move as fast as the player, you would write false here. So you would just type false. So if you don't want their zombies to be stunned, so if you hit them and they, stop moving and they just stand there and let you hit them over and over, if you don't want that to be on, you can turn that off too. So you write now we're going to move on to animals. So the animal respawn time is 90 seconds, but you can change that to whatever you want. Damage multiplier. So this is how much a animal will do damage to you, but they don't really ever do damage to you, but whatever. 1.5 times. And then armor upgrade. This might... Yeah, I think it is. That's how it works. Okay. Armor upgrade, if you want to make your animals harder to kill. Don't know why you do that, but if you want to do that, you can do whatever. Barricades, you can make the decay time. So this is the amount of time in seconds. I got to emphasize the seconds. This is the time in seconds that they will actually decay. They'll just disappear, basically. So you can put this to. I think this is actually the same. This is actually default. I think this is how it is normally. I don't think I changed it. You can make the armor multiplier higher, so it's harder to destroy them. So if you want zombies to not destroy your barricades as quickly, you can make this number higher. Structures decay time is usually, I think it's the same as this. I think this is default. So time in seconds that your structures will decay and disappear. You can also make your structures 2 times stronger, or however strong. If you want it to be 1,000,000,000 times stronger and they're undestroyable, then you can go ahead and do that. Then you want to have. Now we move on to another big part here. Big part. We're on to the players category. This is a big one. Don't sleep on it, boys. Don't sleep on it. This is a big one. All right. We got health, regen, minimum food. So normally, and by default, your health will only regenerate when you're at 90 food and water, and then your health will start regenerating. But you can change it to whatever you want. You can actually change it to 1, and your health will always regenerate no matter what. Or you can change it to 0. So even if you're dead, your health is regenerating, so you literally can't die unless you get hit by a zombie at low health, but whatever. You can change that to whatever you want, so you can change the point at which regeneration starts happening. Regen ticks. This is basically in seconds. Don't pay attention to the ticks. That's a trick. It's a trick. Don't listen to it. It's in seconds. So 30 seconds. Every 30 seconds, 1 point will regen, basically. Food use ticks. So every time, this is the amount of time in seconds that your food bar will take damage. Oh, actually, no. This is the next one. I actually don't know what use does. Food use ticks. I don't know what that does. But food damage is every time your food bar goes down. This is the amount of time in seconds that it'll go down. So if you want it to go down faster, you would change this to be a smaller number. If you want it to be slower, you would change it to be a higher number. You have a water use ticks. I don't know what use is. I don't know what that is. Didn't research that one. Oh well, it doesn't really matter. Just change it to a reasonable number. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Your damage, so if you want it's the same thing as food. I would recommend just putting them at the same value, but you can do whatever you want. Virus infect. I don't know what that does either. Jesus, I don't know what any of that does. Use. I don't know what use is. I don't know what infect and use. I don't know what these two are, but I would just keep them as default, if anything. Virus damage ticks. So every time it's the same thing as food and water. Leg regen. So this is how often your legs will regenerate from being broken or injured or whatever. That's the amount of time in seconds. So you can change that to be lower or higher. Bleed damage ticks, so this is the amount of time in seconds that you will take damage from bleeding. This is the regen time and bleed regen. So if your food and water is above 75 on my server, every 60 seconds you'll regen. Instead of 30, it'll be 60 because you're bleeding, so it'll be slower. Armor multiplier, you can make players really strong, you can make them really weak. Same thing as zombies. You can make yourself stronger, so I put it at 3. Whatever. Experience multiplier, this is your overall experience multiplier, so this is really important. So if you want to kill a zombie and get 1,000,000 experience, you can just change this to fucking like crazy, okay? But I'm just gonna keep mine at 10. Detect radius, this is really important as well. This is how this is the detect radius for zombies to be able to actually detect you. So I put it at 0.3, so zombies are actually kind of blind on my server because it's annoying just to have them always see you. You can have, this is a this is a percentage here. So if you want to lose your skills in PvP, so if you're on a PvP server, the chance that someone will lose their skills, you can make it 1, or you can make it 0, or you can make it 0.75, you can make it whatever. That's basically what that does. And then you want to, if you want them to lose their items, you could do that as well. But, or you can just change it to 0 and you'll never lose your skills, you'll never lose your items. There's no, like, death doesn't really affect you at all, basically. If you want them to lose their clothes, so all the clothes that they've got over time in your server, if you want them to lose that, you can turn this on to true. If you're on a PvE server, you would change that to true if you want it, but you can just keep it off, whatever. Can hurt your legs. If you want people to be able to hurt their legs or break their legs, you can turn this off or on. Yeah, can break legs as well, so there you go. Hurt legs, break legs. If you can fix the legs, you can turn. That'd be really sadistic if you had break legs on and you had fixed legs off. Wow, that'd be fucked up, dude. Don't do that. That's a dick move right there. You can turn on start bleeding. You can turn off stop bleeding. Yeah, basically like that. Now we got objects. This is pretty. I would just keep all these at the same, but you can mess with these. It's it's the same thing, 0 to 1, yada yada. Events. You can have your rain. You can have your rain frequency. So this is the minimum amount of time. I actually don't really know how this works too well. I haven't really played around with this, but basically, if the chance is, if you want it to be more likely that it'll rain, you would just make this higher, and you would make this the same number as this or whatever. This is the max amount of frequency that it can happen. This is the minimum amount. This is their duration. So if you want it to happen, more, if you want rain to last longer, so if it starts raining and you want it to last longer, you would make these numbers higher. Then you got your airdrop. Oh, Jesus Christ, man. Ooh, alarms, man. I gotta mow the yard and shit, dude. It's fucking November, man. I'm not mowing the yard. Fuck that shit. Airdrop. You got an airdrop chance. This is pretty important as well. I would keep these. I would keep it I would keep the airdrops kind of rare, but once again, you can do whatever you want. Gameplay. Max level. Repair max level 3. I actually don't know why this is even on there, but it is. You can turn hit markers off, you can turn crosshairs off, you can turn ballistics off, you can turn the chart off, you can make everybody have to find a map in order to see the map. You can make a respawn timer, you can make a timer for home, blah, 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 and that's it. That's actually all the config. That's it. Oh boy, isn't that great. So we're done with that. You changed all those. I'm assuming man, you're killing it. You're changing all the settings. Oh man, you're really doing great. We're going to hop back into Server Organizer here. Now, we're going to open up the file again. And we're going to go back in here. We're going to go to the Rocket folder. So we're going to open up that. And then we're going to open up the permissions folder. We're going to right click that. And we're going to open up into Notepad here. Boom. Open it up. Now, this is pretty complicated. Looks pretty intimidating, don't it? It's pretty crazy. All right. So you have your groups here. So you have this is your default group. So anyone who joins your server that isn't a mod or an admin or an owner will be in the default group by default. You can change the display name of said person, and you can also change the prefix. So whenever they type in chat, it'll show player and then their name and then what they wrote. And then you can also change the color of the font. So when they type in chat, it'll be white. But if you want it to be red or blue or whatever, you would just type red or blue. Try to stay away from using unique colors. Don't really use something like turquoise or something like crazy. Just use very basic colors, because if you type in like gold or something, it won't read it, and it'll just default back to gray, which is kind of boring. You can have priorities, which I really don't know what priorities do. I wouldn't mess with them. Now these are all your permissions, so if you want people to have certain permissions, you would put them here. So if you want to add a new permission, you would just copy this line, and then you would paste a new line in. And then you would change what's right here. This is how you would change it. So you could just type in whatever the fucking thing would be. And then you would have your cooldown here. So you'd have your so how often they could use these commands, you could make it to be 500 seconds. So the cooldown time is in seconds. So if you want it to be a really crazy cooldown, you could do that, or you could have it off, which I do. So if you have, I mean, I mean, at this point, I don't think you're really going to be able to add anything in here for right now. We'll go back to that in a second, but this is, I would go ahead and change these settings here. I would change like prefixes if you want to copy exactly what I have here, but you can change this in the middle here to whatever you want it to be. You can change the color to whatever. You're really not going to have any permissions at the moment, but we'll get to that later. But I just want you to set up this little bit. I want you to set up this little part here first. And then you can have different groups, so you can add another group. Now, the way that you would add another group is you would go right here. You would go to the /group thing here, and you would go up to here, all the way up to this group. You don't want to go to groups. That's the wrong one. You want to go to group and then all the way down to this, and you want to copy that. And then you would go down all the way to the bottom, and you would oh shit, where did I do that? You could do it right here. You would add your thing in right here. So you would go Shift Enter, and then you would paste in your new group, and that would be your new group. So you could, and then you could change the name of that, and you would change what members are in it and stuff like that. Pretty simple, pretty basic. Yeah, no. I gotta delete this shit. Jeez, I don't want that to be a thing. I don't want that to be a real thing. Alright, there we go. Alrighty. I just want you to set up those simple things. So you're going to go through here and just set up player, white, the colors, and whatever else. That's all you're going to do right now. You're not really going to put any permissions in unless you're like fucking way ahead of the game, man. Unless you're ahead of the game and you already know how to do that, but we're not there yet. So now you want to go to commands. This is where you're going to get most of your permissions. Now I have, Rocket, the initial server mod that you're going to get by default when you install USO is going to automatically come with a lot of commands. You can add more commands by adding them later. We're not there yet, but you can add them later. So you can go through here. You can look through all these commands. These are all the commands that I have currently installed. But you can go through here, and you can look at all these, and you can say, I want experience to be one of my commands. Then you would hop back over to the permissions config that we were just in. If you have Notepad++, all of these files should already be open, but if they're not, it's pretty easy to switch through them like that. So if you're saying, I want the experience thing, you would copy and paste a new line in whatever. You can make it all default if you want. I mean, you don't really have to do members and stuff. I mean, that's pretty advanced, but yeah. So if you want a new command, so let's say you want experience, you want I want to give myself a bunch of experience. You would go down and you would add the command line for experience, like I have here. That's all you would do. That's it. That's basically it. It's really that easy. And you would do that with every single command from Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. Get out of that. You would do that with every single command that you see in here that you'd want to have. And you can look up what these commands do. I'm not really going to explain every single one because it's just, you know, I think most of them are pretty self-explanatory. So if you want to kick, kill somebody, you want to load out, slog, map, they're pretty self-explanatory. So if you want a certain command, you would just come over here, add a new line in, and put it right here. You want to make sure it's in here, not anywhere, like not over here, not in there. You want it to be right there. And then you want to have your cooldown. So I already explained that, but in seconds, you would have a cooldown. Now, yes. All right, let's move on to the player folder. So if you do want to add, let's say like, oh, you're wondering how I got this number here for a member. So if you want to make somebody an admin or an owner or a mod on your server, mod stands for moderator, if you didn't know that. If you want to make someone at that rank, you can do that by adding them as a member. But you're saying to yourself, well, how do I get this big long number? I don't know where the fuck to get that shit. Exactly. I haven't fucking showed it to you yet. Jeez, calm down, dude. We're gonna get off that. We're gonna go back into the server file. We're gonna go to players. As soon as you open up the server file, boom, players, and then you're gonna have a whole bunch of Steam IDs. To make it really easy on yourself, if you already know who the admin is going to be and the moderator for your server is going to be, just have them join the server, and then you'll get all these Steam IDs, and you can just add which one is, you can add which ID is this. But now there's a little bit of a trick to this. When you're copying and pasting your Steam ID, you do not want the _0. Do not put that in there. The _0 will fuck it up. So you only want these numbers right here, from 7 all the way to 3. You don't want the _0. That will completely botch it all up. It won't work. Trust me, I've known from experience. It doesn't work. All right, so that's how you would get that. That's how you would get the player numbers, the Steam IDs for your for admin and whatever else. All right, now we're going to move on to, let's see. I got like a script thing over here. I got to make sure I fucking hit all these points. It's hard out here for you, boy. Rocket. Okay. Now we're gonna go back into Server Organizer here. Let's close everything else out. Let's close everything else out. Oh, I got my little OBS there. All right. Let's go into the Rocket Mod Editor. So we want to click this little Rocket Mod Editor, and you're going to go to Plugins. Now this is how you would add new server commands and things like that to your server that you would want. It's pretty simple, but I think I need to explain it anyway because it's kind of a pain if you don't know what you're doing. It's loading up all my plugins. It automatically makes sure they're up to date and everything like that. Oh my god, it's gonna take forever, ain't it? It's gonna take a long time. Jeez, come on, man. Come on, man. We're already 33 minutes in, man. We gotta hurry. This is a long-ass video. Alright. So, these are all the plugins. My god, my birds are going crazy. I apologize if you can hear that. These are the plugins that I have. I mean, you can go ahead and use the same ones I have, but you don't have to. So we're going to go ahead and go to install plugin from the web. I'm going to click that, and then it's going to take you into a big browser type situation. And you can buy things if you want, but I mean, I wouldn't recommend buying anything. So you can just, so basically you would just choose any of these. Let's just choose this one for shits and giggles. And you would go over to commands. So this is the command that they have for their plugin. So if you were to download this, I'm not going to actually download it. I'm just showing you how you would do this. You would click download right here to download it, and then it would go through a thing and it would download it for you. You would want to put report, not slash report. You'd want to put just report in your permissions file. So you would go, you would put, oh shit. You would put report into the, so after you download a plugin, you'd go to, oh crap, what the hell? After you download a plugin, you'd want to go to your, you want to go back into Rocket, you want to go back into permissions, and then you would add a new line, and you would just add report. Like you would just put report here, and that's how you would add a new plugin to your permissions list. That's all you would have to do, as long as it's installed. And then let's see. Yeah, that's about it. That's about it for plugins. I don't know. It's pretty simple. It's not that hard. Let's see what else I got. Okay. Oh, also, I guess I should probably I guess I should show that as well. If you download a plugin that you can modify, let's say you download a plugin and you want to modify it. So you want to open up your server file by, clicking over here again. And you want to click Rocket. And you want to click plugins. And then you have all your things here. So let's say you downloaded Pocket Resizer for just for show. And then you have these configuration files. It should be configuration, or it should say something like that so that you can configure it. You would just go to edit, and it would open up its own little thing, and you would do this. Now, if you do download Pocket Resizer, if you want this one, well, you would add this permission to your permissions list, and you could even just copy and paste this entire line right into there. You could just copy and paste this line right into your permissions folder. You could just, well, actually, no, you couldn't, because it doesn't have a cooldown thing, so don't do that, never mind. But you could just copy and paste this part right here into, so you would copy pocket.small, and you would put it right, boom, right there. That's how you would add that one. And pretty much every plugin is like that. That's all you have to do. And this is the width by slots. So if you do download this, I'm going to quickly explain this just because it's already open here. So this is 14 slots by 50 slots, and then you have different ones, pocket dot. These are different permissions that you would add if you want different pocket sizes, yada yada yada. It basically modifies the hand slot in your inventory to be bigger. That's all it does. Alright, now that's enough of plugins. I hope I explained that well. It's pretty hard to explain some of this stuff, but I hope I'm doing a good job. I don't really know. I can't really tell, to be honest. I'm coming from a point of view where I kind of already know how to do all this stuff, but alright, now we're going to move on to Steam Workshop. So, pow, open it up real quick. These are all the mods that I have installed. If you really want to pause the video and actually see what stuff I have installed, I basically like to install weapon mods that spawn on the server, on the ground. These are all stuff that spawns normally, like in the world, except for a couple of these. There's a couple of these are like mod items or admin items. So basically what you do here is you would click Steam Workshop, boom, and then you'd have your maps over here and your other miscellaneous mods over here. And to install a new one, you would say install new mod. And it's going to load up Steam. It's probably going to take a while again, which is unfortunate because this video is already pretty dang long. There we go. Now it loads up Steam, and as you can notice, you're not logged in, and you don't have a language selected, and it says to install Steam. That's normal. Don't log in. Don't do anything. This is how you do. This is just how you do it. So now you're going through. You're looking at some mods. You're like, ooh, I like the look of this mod. Let's get the Biohazard backpack just for an example. If you wanted to install this, you do not, I repeat, you do fucking not press the subscribe button. Do not press this, because if you press it, it'll just ask you to create an account or sign in. And obviously, you're not supposed to be signed in, so don't fucking press it. Don't press the subscribe. You want to click here, all the way at the bottom. It says click here to install the displayed mod, our mod collection. So you'd click that. You'd click the bottom, and then it'll install it for you, and that's it. That's all you have to do. And then it'll start, and then those items will start appearing in your game. And then you would use the object IDs to spawn them in with /give like you would on single player or whatever else. It's pretty simple. Now we're actually getting to the end of the video here, so last thing I want to hit, actually, no, we're not getting to the end. This is actually, we're getting to a big part, pretty close here. I got my little script over here. It's helped me out a lot. We got our security settings. You can have VAC off. You can have BattlEye disabled if you want. Wouldn't recommend it. Not a good idea. Hackers will be in your server trying to get your IP and fucking you over. So don't fucking do that shit. I'm going to now, since that's the end of how to set up your server, I'm going to now show you how to run your server and play the game on the same computer, because there's a lot of misconceptions out there about how you can't run a Rocket server on the same computer as you're playing the game, but you fucking can. So it's a load of bullshit. I don't know where that came from, but I'm gonna demolish that misconception right now. So basically, you want to open up your Steam. You just open up Steam. You want to go ahead and launch the game. Just go ahead and play it. Go ahead and play the game. Oh gosh, it's going to take forever. It's going to take a long time to load it up, probably. And the server's going to take a while. So basically, I'm just going to tell you how to do it, so you don't have to sit here and watch me do it. But I mean, if you want to sit here and watch me actually get into the game with the server on, and for me to actually prove it to you, but I'm just going to tell you how to do it right now. All you're going to need to do is launch the game, let it load up completely, and then after that, you launch your server. But I repeat, don't launch your server while it's loading up. You have to let it load all the assets first. Let it get completely into the game. I would even actually recommend you go to the server tab and again go to the LAN category and just wait for it to load and just wait for it to say there's no servers and then launch your server, because I've had problems with it crashing if you don't do that. So you just want to wait for this game to load up. I'm gonna actually prove it. This is gonna be a long end of the video, but I gotta prove it, because there's a lot of people say you can't do it, but you definitely can. You can definitely run the server and the game at the same time. You're just gonna be hanging out with me for like a little while this fucking game loads. This game it absolutely takes way too long for the game that it is to load. I don't know why it takes so long. I mean, I can load up Assassin's Creed Origins like at 4K 60 FPS in a couple of maybe like 30 seconds. But this game, oh yeah, it takes minutes. It takes minutes to load. It's like GTA 5. It's insane. But I will admit, once it's loaded up, it's a really good game. Oh, jeez, man, it's gonna take forever, ain't it? Woo! It's gonna take forever. Come on, man, we don't have all day. These people are waiting for me to prove it to them. They gotta... Come on. They got better things to do. I'm sure. Yep, all you need to do is just start up your game, wait for all the assets to load, wait for it to completely start up, and then you can launch your server. That's all you gotta do. Oh, jeez. Come on, man. I'm on a time crunch right now. I'm on a time crunch. I don't want this video to be too long. It'll be too intimidating if it's too long. I'm on a time. I'm on a clock. Oh my gosh, I need to actually like time it. I'll have to go into editing and actually not editing. I don't edit my videos, but I wish I could. I want to see how long this actually takes to load. My god, I've never seen it take this long. It's probably because I'm recording, to be honest with you. Might because I'm recording. How long is the video now? I want to actually check. Oh my god, it's 46 minutes. Ah, jeez. I mean, hey, if you're still watching, hey, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, dude. Whoever the hell's watching this for 46 minutes, I'm proud of you. Oh my god, it's still loading. Jeez, man. Jeez. Oh my god, that was the longest that's ever taken. No, I'm getting a good 700 FPS, you know. So we're gonna go to servers and we're gonna go to LAN. Now we're gonna go ahead and tab over to Unturned Server Organizer. We're gonna go ahead and hit start. Now it pops up a little thing and it'll start loading all the server assets. Now it takes about just as long for the server to load up that it does for the game to load up. So once again, if you don't want to watch the whole video on me proving this to be untrue, but if you want me to, yeah, I'm going to prove it anyway. I'm going to do it. I have to do it, you know. I feel like I'm obligated now. I've already promised. Getting a solid 830 FPS while recording, while running a server. Man, I'm fucking killing it out here. There's like a gnat in my room. It's flying around and it's pissing me off. God damn. He's been bothering me the whole video and I've just been really suppressing my anger. I'm really proud of myself, to be honest. Oh, come on, man. Come on. Oh my god. Workshop assets. This is going to take a while. This is going to take a while. If you have a lot of mods downloaded, it'll take forever for the workshop assets to be loaded up. But Jesus, man. How long, man, how big is this video file going to be? I'm going to guess it's going to be like, I don't know. It's not 4K video like I normally do. I made this video 1080p because I thought it'd be easier to see stuff. But, you know, my monitor looks very weird right now at 1080p. I hate it. That's why I'm getting such a high FPS. Usually at 4K I only get like 200 FPS on this game. It's pretty sad. But at 1080p I get like 800, which, you know, makes sense, I guess. Alright, there you go. It's all loaded up. So once it says loading level 100%, boom, it's ready. Now, hit that, and then we're in. Holy shit, boys. That fucking took way too goddamn long. Actually, now that I'm getting 2,000 FPS for some goddamn reason, it's actually gonna download all my workshop items that I just added. I totally forgot about that. Ah, God. Now it's gonna see. Now it's downloading. Oh, that's another thing. If you add workshop items to your server, when someone joins it, it'll automatically download all those server mods for them. They don't have to subscribe to the stuff first before they join your server. It'll just automatically do it. So you don't have to worry about that, which is really nice. Here we go. Oh god, look at this, man. Look at this. I'm running the server and I'm playing the game while playing on the server at the same time on the same computer. It's almost as if people who say that you can't run a server and play on it at the same time are fucking retarded. I think for the end of the video, I'm just gonna go around. I'm just gonna fucking kill some zombies for the end. You know, I feel like I accomplished the goddamn. I feel like I just defeated a boss. Like, you know, I feel like. Oh, I'm only getting 65 FPS because I'm recording. I usually get 200. Wow, it feels very weird at 60. I'm just gonna kill some zombies. We're just gonna, you know, party. We're gonna party hardy, you know. You might be asking yourself, why the hell is he still recording? Well, I don't know, dude. Shut up. God damn it! My max items dropped. Didn't fucking. God dang it! I don't think I even explained that, did I? Dang it! I don't think I did. The max item drops are reset back to normal. Whatever. Alright, well, there you go. Killed some zombies for the end of the video. Isn't that great? Alright, well, I think I'm just going to end it here. And yeah, I think that's about it. That's all I got. That's the end of the video, and I will see you in the next one. Have fun on your server. Oh yeah, you're gonna have a fun time if I even did a decent job at explaining it. But you know, I tried.